We meet again at last. The circle is now complete.
What's the world coming to?
Well, you got a problem with what I did, Anthony?
Oh, no. Hey, no.
Fucking rat anyways. Whole family's all rats. Would have grew up to be a rat.
Stupid bastard. I can't fucking believe it.
Gee, I'm real sorry your mom blew up, Ricky.
Now you're gonna dig the fucking thing. You're gonna dig the hole. You're gonna do it. I got no fucking line. You're gonna do it.
Yes, I'll take the fucking hole. I don't give a fuck.
I realized that what was living behind that boy's eyes was pure and simply evil.
Jesus Christ. Mister, you okay in there?
Let's visit coffees around here someplace.
Have you any idea what the cost of your actions is? What their effect might be? Or you to give them hope? What do you give them? We give them happiness. And they give us authority. Groovy.
What's going on, you wild ghouls and zombies? Logan Myerz back here for the Cinephellas Podcast, episode 114, and things are about to get wild. So lately, we've been quite busy here with the Cinephellas crew, been shooting a lot of videos with Henry and myself, lots of reviews and movies and TV shows we've been checking out. Recently, we reviewed Invincible Season 1 on Prime Video, really fantastic series from the comic by Robert Kirkman, voiced by Stephen Young, and a bunch of great actors in the show. Really fantastic R-rated comic series that's adapted for Amazon Prime Video. Really great. I've been also reviewing Star Wars The Bad Batch and Mighty Ducks. That's both on Disney Plus streaming service. In terms of horror, we watched the second season of Creep Show. That's on Shudder. Really had a great time with the 5 episodes. And we also reviewed The Mitchells vs. the Machines. That's streaming on Netflix. And then today we posted our review of Spiral, the brand new horror film in the Saw franchise, the 9th film starring Chris Rock and Samuel L. Jackson. I don't want to get into that much. I'm still pretty upset over that film, but our review's right over here on our YouTube channel. But with that being said, I had the opportunity to check out the brand new film Dementia Part 2, obviously the sequel to the original Dementia film that came out in 2015. Today I'm talking to the actor in the film that was in both films, but in Dementia Part 2, Graham Skipper, he plays Reggie, a parole officer, making sure the main character in the film named Wendell is staying good and not getting into any trouble as he's on parole. So Reggie's character shows up at this house that Wendell's working at, and that's when all the mayhem and madness begins. Essentially, the premise of the film is Susan wasn't always confused. She wasn't always dead either. When an ex-con takes a job, that being Wendell, as a handyman for an unstable elderly woman to avoid a parole violation, it becomes a choice he may regret. What's really fantastic about Dementia Part 2, it's in black and white, monochromatic film that really creates this suspenseful atmosphere, much like the recent film Robert Eggers' The Lighthouse with Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe, and obviously Hitchcock's Psycho. So it's a lot of nods to those films, and I just absolutely love how it's filmed in black and white. It really gets to the point pretty quick, and some gruesome scenes with this elderly woman with dementia and exactly what that entails with her character and everything that Wendell comes across being a handyman on parole, and things that he encounters with this elderly woman, Susan. If you're into gore and practical effects and love horror and also comedy, I think this movie would be a great fit for you guys. I absolutely loved it, being a huge horror fan. So here is my interview with the actor, producer, editor, Graham Skipper, who plays Reggie in the film Dementia Part 2. So let's get to it, shall we?
Hey, Graham.
Hello. Hey, how's it going?
I'm good. How you doing today?
Doing pretty good.
Big fan of your work. We just checked out Dementia Part 2 and had a great time with it, and congrats on this new film.
Thanks so much. Yeah, I'm super proud of it and very, very excited that the world is finally getting to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think everybody's going to love it as much as I did. It's a really fantastic flick. A short movie, but I had a fun time with it. I was an actor, and you're playing the role of Reggie. How did you get the role, and what was the audition process like?
Well, there wasn't really an audition process. So I've been good friends with with Matt Mercer and Mike Teston for a long time, and literally they just called me up one day and said, hey, we're trying to shoot this movie on a very short schedule, and we need somebody to play a really sweaty asshole sleazebag, and would you come to set tomorrow and do the job? And I said, sounds great, perfect. And that, and that was really it. Then I just showed up and I shot for a day and did my part in helping to make the movie. But yeah, it was just really a matter of, I think that because of the circumstances surrounding the making of the film, it was really about trying to put together a group of people that everybody could trust and everybody could rely on, and that everybody, sort of had a shorthand with. And I was lucky enough to be one of those people chosen.
Well, that's fantastic. And I was saying this movie's, pretty short, shy of about 70 minutes long. Was that intentional, or was there any other scenes that were cut out of the film?
From my memory, I'm not sure that there were any other scenes really cut. I think that, again, because the movie was made in such a short time frame, it was really about getting the movie made. So I think it was about telling the story the best way that we could, and the most efficiently that we could. And I think that just resulted in the runtime being a little bit shorter than normal. But I don't know about you, but I love a good quick in and out runtime. That especially for a midnight movie like this.
No, absolutely. You got right to the point. And I guess when the credits rolled, which I laughed at, by the way, the credits were funny, the ending part of the movie. But I'm like, I want more. I want more of this. I also laughed when I saw the credits for the first time, because that wasn't in the script. I think that was the thing that they discovered in editing. And so when I think I first saw it at the Chattanooga Film Festival when it played there, and I remember when the credits rolled there, I also laughed heartily. I really enjoyed what they did. Yeah, it's a great movie that blends horror and comedy. There's a few parts that I literally laughed out loud at, so I loved it. I love that aspect of it. Another part of this movie that I absolutely love, obviously it's in black and white, and it creates this eerie atmosphere, much like, Robert Eggers' The Lighthouse or Hitchcock's Psycho. Do you think a monochromatic film creates a suspenseful atmosphere, and were you happy with the way the film turned out?
Yeah, good question. I think that shooting it in black and white definitely heightened the atmosphere and definitely made it, I think, more surreal and certainly, added to an air of kind of mystery and weirdness about the whole thing. I'm very happy with how it turned out. And I think that, I think Matt and Mike and that decision to shoot it in black and white, I think that that choice really stood out in terms of helping make the movie unique and make the movie have its own uniquely weird voice.
Especially all the gruesome scenes, without giving too much away. The movie's pretty gory and gruesome, but in black and white, it really has that nice effect to it as well. So I think it really elevates it.
Yeah, totally agree.
So you were talking about Matt and Mike. Can you tell me about, what it's like working with Matt and Mike and the cast? Did you have any funny stories, from the set or making the film?
Yeah, I mean, it was it was so fast. I mean, of course, I'm sure like the whole story behind the film is that it was a dare to try to make a movie within 30 days, and that's just an insanely quick time to make a film. And so I think that, like, when I showed up on set, they were already shooting Fast and Furious. And I mean, I've been buzzed with them for a long time. So, there was that aspect of just like, hey guys, good to see you. I had met Najara. I had never worked with Najara before, but I was very excited to. And of course, she's super cool and very chill and was also on board with the sort of insane nature of how we were shooting this. So it was very nice and, to meet her. And then Suzanne, I also had never met. But and when I met her, she already had her sort of, I'll call them her monster contact lenses in, and she was already sort of in character. And so that was kind of my introduction to Suzanne. But I loved working on our scene together, and I thought she was just fantastic. And, again, it was really just, everybody was in the trenches together on this, and everybody was very it seemed to be on the same wavelength in terms of the type of project we were trying to shoot and what we needed to do to get it done.
Was it more of like, hey, here's your lines, or was it more of like a collaborative process with the directors?
It was a little bit of both. You know, I remember I got my pages, which was something like, I don't know, 13, 16 pages. And normally, you know, on a shoot, you know, like a big day is shooting 6 pages of dialogue, something like that.
Yeah.
And so I said to Matt, I said, okay, you know, so what are we shooting tomorrow? And he said, oh, we're shooting everything tomorrow in the first half of the day. You know, because this whole movie was shot in like 4 days. So, which again is insane.
That's crazy.
So it was really, yeah, this is really about like, yeah, we're shooting all of your pages tomorrow in the first half of the day. And so I got those down and I made sure I knew them. But then because of the nature of the project, you know, it was really about, there's a whole lot of collaboration. There's a whole lot of, if you can think of anything else, you know, add it, go for it, say something funny. And so I think that what you see on the screen at the end of the day is really a combination of collaboration and improvisation on the day with what Matt and Mike already wrote.
And this is obviously a sequel film. I haven't seen the first Dementia, but I heard it's really good. And you played the character Hendrix in the first one, right?
I do, yes. Very different character.
Yeah.
And although I like to tell people personally, oh yes, you absolutely must see the first one in order to understand the second. That is not true. I just think it's funny to try to tell people that they have to see the first one in order to get the second one, just because I think that's a hilarious way to try to indoctrinate people. But yeah, they're very different, totally separate timelines, totally separate, you know, narratives. And my characters are also very different. But I love that. I think that's really fun. And I think that Matt and Mike's decision to call this Dementia Part 2, I don't know, I think it's very funny.
Yeah, that's my homework assignment for the weekend, is try to find the first one so I can watch it and then rewatch this one. But I'm pretty excited about that, as long as I can find the movie. You know, talking about sequels, do you have any favorite sequel movies out there? Maybe in the horror genre or just any genre?
Oh, interesting. I mean, I'm a really big fan of Hellraiser Bloodline, the fourth Hellraiser film. It's my you know, after Hellraiser 1 and 2, that's my favorite in the franchise. I really love Jason Takes Manhattan. I think that's
classic.
It's classic. I defend that all the time. I love that movie. You know, I love the entire Alien series because I just love how different every entry is from all the other ones. Although, you know, the original is still my favorite. But yeah, I guess I sort of think of those three. I also am a big fan of Texas Chainsaw 2. I think
that's a good one.
I think that's a great one. Yeah, I don't know. They're all good.
Yeah, for sure. Evil Dead 2 is up there as well, like one of the better sequels.
Oh yes, of course. How could I forget? Yes.
Yeah.
That. Gosh, Halloween 3, The Exorcist 3. Yeah, there's. I mean, you know, that's kind of what's great about the horror genre, is that it allows for filmmakers to go in such weird, different directions with their sequels. And that's, I think, a part of the reason why I love horror sequels so much.
Yeah, same here. It's my favorite genre. It seems like they get cheesier, but they're just awesome at the same time, especially with the sequels. Texas Chainsaw 2 especially.
Totally. Yeah, totally.
Has there been any talks about a Dementia Part 3 or Dementia 3?
Oh, I haven't heard anything about it. But I, you know, would be thrilled with that situation. Yeah, I mean, whatever happens. But I'm on board if there are.
Yeah, we can hope. Hopefully Matt and Mike make it and get it done here in a few years. I would be on board with that as well. But Suzanne's character in the movie, she was fantastic. Something eerie and unsettling about her. And I guess a funny question I have for you: have you ever unclogged an old woman's pipes?
Alas, I have not.
Okay, just wanted to ask. I thought it'd be kind of funny. Nor have I, but maybe down the road.
Yeah.
Go from there. What's your process when it comes to preparing for a movie? Do you like read books or watch movies for inspiration, or how do you prepare?
Gosh, good question. I mean, I love it when a director gives me movies to watch. That helps me a lot. I really enjoy that. I think really it's just looking at the script and approaching it from sort of a blank slate and thinking of it from a acting perspective of objectives and subtext and, you know, character backstory. You know, it's like really just sort of the basics. And, you know, and like tonally, you pretty quickly figure that out. That's what has helped a lot by watching movies, you know, in the tone of what people are you know, what a director might send you. But, really, you know, it's just about, making sure that all of your choices are honest and true and that all of your objectives make sense. And that you're giving the most truthful performance that you can.
That's a good answer. You know, we've been living in a crazy time the past year, pandemic, obviously COVID and all that stuff. What have you been doing in your downtime? Have you been relaxing more, taking more time to work on upcoming projects, or what have you been doing?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of both, I guess. I think I've been allowing myself more time to kind of sit back and relax and you know, watch things that maybe I've been putting off for a while, or I don't know, stay up later than I normally would and watch something crazy. You know, but definitely like using some of that time to work on projects that I've been putting off or projects that I've been sort of ruminating about for a while but haven't really gotten to. You know, it's been a lot of that. And just really very much looking forward to the day when we can, you know, all sort of step out of this and I don't know, show off what we've been doing.
Oh, that's a good answer. Yeah, I think a lot of people have been doing that, relaxing, looking forward to going back to normal life. I'm definitely there with you. So the last question, I guess, is a two-part question, is do you have any upcoming projects in the works, and where can we find you on social media?
Yeah, so I've got a couple of films that are you know, sort of in the pipeline right now. There's a movie called Mystery Spot, directed by a guy named Mel House, that we shot in Texas a couple of years ago, and I know that will be hitting the fest circuit soon, so keep on the lookout for that. And also a film called The Leech, which I'm in with the great Jeremy Gardner. We shot that this year during COVID, and that also I know is in post right now, and that's also very exciting. And then on Twitter, you can find me at Graham Skipper.
Fantastic. We'll have to follow you and send you the link whenever this interview is posted. And we're looking forward to, obviously, more of your upcoming projects and checking those out.
Thanks so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. A huge fan of yours. It was a great, you know, talking to you today about this film. And hopefully have a good rest of your day, and we'll let you know whenever this is posted.
Yeah, thanks so much. I appreciate it very much. And thanks for supporting the movie.
Absolutely. You have a good rest of your day.
So that was my interview with Mr. Graham Skipper himself. Really fantastic and down-to-earth guy. I really loved his performance in this movie and other movies he's been in as well, including Almost Human that came out in 2013 and VFW. He played a roadie, and that came out in 2019. Really fantastic film if you guys have not seen that. Really dived into a lot of great questions and a really fantastic conversation about, you know, getting the role in the film, returning for the sequel and playing somebody completely different, a different character, playing the parole officer, you know, making a film in black and white and how that creates this, you know, monochromatic, suspenseful atmosphere, and also the movie being shot at 70 minutes, and also working with Matt Mercer and Mike Teston, the cast of the film, and how they shot this movie pretty quick, you know, being an independent, lower budget film. They have to get in and get out, essentially, and they did a really great job, and something that I highly recommend. So hopefully you guys had a great time with this interview and conversation, and hopefully we'll see more of Mr. Graham Skipper in the future with his upcoming projects. So that being said, we have more interviews, reviews, and podcasts coming right up here on our YouTube channel, also on our website, Cinephellas.com, and on our social media outlets, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So stay tuned, check us out, subscribe, like us, and follow us on this awesome journey. So this is Logan Myerz signing out from Cinephellas Podcast, episode 114. Until next time, cheers!